And I realize that the rest of the media seem to be convinced that 6 months from today, Republicans are going to have a really bad day, and that could happen, but it is not looking any better for Democrats either, and I mean that. They are literally running a guy in Maine right now who had a Nazi tattoo for 18 years, and they don't see any irony in that. And if this guy was white and if he was wearing a red hat when he murdered 2 people, this would be the biggest story in America, and it's not even close. But it's not, because this guy right here, who allegedly reportedly killed 2 people in New York on Friday, is an illegal alien. And the rest of the media are avoiding this story again tonight. The biggest newspaper in New York, the biggest newspaper in America, has yet to even mention it. The New York Times has not done a single story about Ronnie Yair Avalarenga Rivera because Ronnie is here illegally. And because Ronnie is accused of stabbing his roommate to death, a female, and then driving to the local Wendy's and stabbing an innocent mother of 3 to death repeatedly in the torso and the head for no reason. The local news covered it. The New York Post covered it. We're covering it. But somehow the New York Times, CNN, MS Now all missed this story.
This person is like a psychopath. My aunt was only taking the trash out.
The anguished niece, who did not want to show her face, says her beloved aunt was one of the stabbing victims. She identifies as Ana Maria de la Aguila Cordova, a respected mother of 2 from Long Beach. It was just before midnight when the victim was finishing her night shift at Wendy's in Island Park and carrying the evening's trash to the outdoor bin when she was fatally attacked, say law enforcement sources.
We want justice because this is insane. We want justice. Justice for Anna.
So imagine what that little girl is going through right now. All she wants is justice for her aunt, who was brutally murdered for no reason by someone who has no right to be in this country. And I mean that honestly. No legal right to be here. And that is why this show exists. To cover stories like this that the rest of the media cover up. And it happens all the time. And it's always the same thing. When a story is not convenient for Democrats, the other half of the country never hear about it because the media don't cover the story. We're not going to do that because another illegal alien just killed 2 more innocent people. Then he called police and told them that he did it. Sounds like a great guy, right? Guy you want to bring home, hope your daughter brings home. Just the kind of person we want in this country, right?
And that individual said he had killed somebody that night. Homicide detectives responded to that scene. They observed an individual in the likeness of the photo that they had from the scene of the murder. A short conversation ensued and an arrest was made. During that time, that same time, information was received that this individual may be responsible for a second murder.
It happened in New York, and the New York Times did not cover the story, meaning they didn't think this was news. They didn't think it was news when an illegal alien killed 2 innocent Americans, but they do think it's news when an American gets killed defending illegal aliens. Think about that. According to the New York Times, headline after headline about Renee Good. That's the middle-aged lesbian who tried to run over a federal agent with her car in Minneapolis, and we know that because the whole thing is on video. Again, look at the screen. Headline after headline for weeks from the New York Times about Renee Good. Literally dozens of articles about Renee Good, dozens. Look at them. We'll keep this scroll going all night. Dozens of articles from the New York Times about a woman who doesn't even live in New York, but not a single one about 2 people who were murdered by an illegal alien in New York, allegedly, reportedly, of course. We have to say that. But think about that. All of this death, including Renee Good, because of illegal aliens. Kamala Harris, there's your root cause right there. Alex Priddy, remember him? It was the exact same thing from the New York Times. Dozens of articles from the Times about Alex Priddy, who died defending illegal immigrants. But not one article about 2 innocent women who were murdered in New York by an illegal immigrant, allegedly, from the New York Times. Again, this is the New York Times, not the Minnesota Times, not the Minneapolis Times, the New York Times.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.